Welcome to another edition of Pastor Kumuyi's Illustrations.
You see, Judas Iscariot had been doing all this, and yet the other people did not know. How did he conceal or hide a stealing? One, there are people that steal because they are clever and they are crafty. There are people that steal because they are clever and they are crafty. You know, when you read the Bible now, you see various methods of stealing the Bible that I do not have time to go into now. You will see people that are crafty. Think about Jacob. Jacob was crafty. From the time that Jacob and Esau were born, that craft or that craftiness you could see in Jacob. You see how he got the birthright from Esau? Crafty. You see how he got the blessing out of Esau? Crafty. But not only that. When he got to Laban, Laban said, "Oh, you are my relative, and you are going to work with me. Am I just going to allow you to be working with me without getting any pay?" Oh, Jacob said, "Let's do it this way." He said, "Let all the camels and all the animals, let them be bringing forth. But the animals that have this and this and this kind of color, that will belong to me. The other kinds of animals that don't have this kind of thing, that will belong to you." Oh, and Laban said, "If that is so, that's all right. Because no man can make any change in anything like that." Then Laban went. And then when the animals were expecting to bring forth their offspring, Jacob will go and make some things on the stick and show some of the stakes and put it where the animals are drinking. When the strong animals are drinking there, we'll put all that there, and sure enough, when all those animals are going to deliver, they're going to deliver the kind of thing that will favor him. When the weak ones are going to deliver, Jacob will not put anything there. So the weak ones eventually got to Laban. That's how he got all the property of Laban. And the sons of Jacob said, "What kind of man is this? He has taken all the property of our father away." And Laban too began to say, Laban couldn't catch him to say this is what he was doing. He said, "We had agreement. The agreement is that if the animal is like this, it will be mine. And if it is like this, it will be yours. But look at all that is coming to your side. What is happening?" "I don't know." And he knew. That's craft. You know there are people like that, very, very crafty. You really cannot catch them. You really cannot say, this is what you are doing. But they have some cunningness and some cleverness and some craft, and they're able to conceal everything. You see, in Yoruba language, we have it that they say that it is God that will judge the person that is dividing meat with his teeth. That only God can judge him. Ọlọ́run ló ń dájọ́ àfẹ̀yìnpinran. That means that when you put it in your mouth, and the greater part of the meat is inside, and the little part is outside, and you remove it and say, that is what remains. Only God can judge you. And so there are people like that, very crafty like Jacob, that they know what to do to get all the things into their family, to divert all the offering into a personal account, and yet you are not able to catch them. But God knows you. He knows your address. And because of that craft, because of that craftiness, a person will just go to hell. Not only that, there are people that will keep what belongs to the nation or what belongs to the church for self or for family use. Other people will borrow from the church and they never pay. And they won't tell you they are borrowing from the church. They just take it. It's when you catch them and you say, "Where is this 2,000 naira? Where is this 5,000 naira? Well, I borrowed it." "Whom did you tell?" "Well, I thought that since we are Christians, and I know in my heart that I borrowed it, and I'm not stealing. But why have you not returned it?" It's because God has not provided. When God provides, I will return it. You are a thief. And if you die in that condition, it is not just that you are borrowing money. When you borrow 1,000 now, 500 now, you borrow this. You have a pastor in your local church, you never tell him. You have a region overseer over the region, you never tell him. Or if you're a region overseer, you have a general superintendent, you never tell him. You are borrowing and borrowing and borrowing the money. And the money you are borrowing has no record. And you never repay them. You are a thief. That means that you are not a Judas Iscariot. And if you die in that condition, are you going to spend eternity? Other people, they withhold their tithe from the Lord. They withhold what belongs unto the Lord from the Lord. Other people, they take by lying and fraud. Do you remember Gehazi? Naaman had come, and the man of God had prayed for him. And as the man of God had prayed for him, he had become well. And Naaman said, take all this, gifts, and have it for yourself. Elisha said, no, that I'm not working for pay. I'm not working for something like that. Take all that you have. It's God that has blessed you. And when the man went, Gehazi said, my master allows this man to go like this. Sure enough, I must take something from this man. And he ran after him. And he said, my master has sent me now. How many of us are saying, General Superintendent said when he didn't say? How many of us, pastor in a local church, will say, district pastor said when district pastor did not say? How many of us will say, region overseer said, I should take this, I should take that things? The leprosy of Naaman will stick on you. Immediately leprosy came upon him. Do you know many people that have spiritual leprosy right now? Spiritual disease right now? Because of the things they take, because of the money they take, because of the property they take from the church, without the permission of the leadership in the church. If you are stealing like that, it means that you are not really a child of God. Another way that people steal is that they have private, local bylaws to rob the poor. What I mean is, and if you, there are references for all these things, but we don't have enough time tonight for me to give you all the Bible for it. But there are people that will write a bylaw. Here we come now, we come to Lagos. And we have told you, this is the way every region will operate. Every district will operate. Every local church will operate concerning finance. They have heard. And then when you go back, you will sit down and say, if one goes through all these things that they are saying, I will not be able to get any kobo or naira to my pocket. And the allowance the church is paying me will not be able to maintain my big life. My kind of lifestyle that is, so extravagant. What am I going to do? All right, I know what to do. They will then begin to give the vetting committee some bylaws and say, vetting committee, this is how you will operate. About all that we have had in Lagos, that is a central law. But this one is a local bylaw. And when you interpret all the local bylaw will destroy the central thing that we have done here. The bylaw is coming so as to be able to continue the stealing they were doing before. If you do that, you'll be like Judas Iscariot. You'll be like a person that is setting decrees and bylaws that will make you steal. And the judgment of God will be upon such an individual. Other people will cover up and they will covet and keep what is meant for the treasury of the house of the Lord. That's what they can do. God had told the people, he said, everything you see in Jericho, you send everything to the treasury of the Lord. All the animals and all the other things that can be burnt, burn them. The silver, the gold, and all the other utensils, they get to the treasury of the Lord. And then Achan saw the things that should go into the treasury of the Lord, and he told them, already we have told you that the church funds is for the treasury of the Lord. The one that is to come to the central fund, we told you, and we told you the reasons for it. The one that is to be spent in the region, we told you. The amount of check that the region overseer can sign, we have told you. The one that you cannot take a decision on, that will get to the general superintendent in Lagos, we have told you. If you now see all that, hear all that, and then you divert some things and you change. You are getting the things that you go into the treasury of the Lord, into your own personal purse. You are stealing. And so, after that theft had occurred, they went to take Ai. They couldn't overcome. And Joshua went and he just fell before the Lord and said, oh my God, what am I going to say? If Israel will turn its back on the enemy, we're going to be ashamed. Why have you brought us thus far? And God said, Joshua, get up from off your face. Israel has dissembled and stolen. And they have taken what should have been at the treasury of the Lord into their own personal account. Therefore, I will no longer be with you except to deal with the sin. And they began to investigate. And eventually Achan was discovered. And Joshua said, tell me the truth, my son. What is it that happened? And Achan said, when I saw, that's the problem. I coveted, that's the problem, and I took. Where are they now? They are in the tent in my house. And then they went there, they dug everything up. And you, wife, didn't you know about it? Guilt made her to be silent. And you children, daddy took something that should have gone to the treasury of the Lord. Didn't you know about it? Ye are the one that trouble Israel. And he took Achan and his wife, everybody, and he stoned them to death. The one that stole and the one that knew about it but kept quiet. Don't allow the judgment of God to come on your family. It's better to go hungry than to allow the judgment of God, the fiery indignation of God, to come upon you. Then there are people that will steal the hearts of the rich so that they can get at the purse of the rich. Now, put it this way. Let's say you have been in a region before. You have been a pastor in that region. The people in that region knew you very well. You have been transferred out of that region. You have gone to another region. If you write any letter to the people in your former region, because you've been with them for years, they love you, they respect you, they appreciate you, you have served them for so many years. If you write to them and you say, in this our new region, things are very bad, things are very poor, therefore you people that have been serving for all these years, see what you will do. If they send their tithes outside where they are benefiting, and they send their tithes to the former leader, you former leader they are sending their tithes to, you're stealing. You did like Absalom. You stole their heart so you could get at their purse. And we can't do that. We can't do that. That will be stealing. If you come to Lagos, for example, and you know some members of the Lagos church, and you are telling them, you see, I'm a full-time worker now, but I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this. If any of the members of Deeper Life in Lagos will then send their tithes to you, you are stealing. The judgment of God will be upon you. If any of the people in Lagos that we're going to choose as the liaison coordinators, if they come to your region and they will talk to people in your region and say, well, I'm a district pastor or district coordinator over a particular local church, we don't have this, we don't have this, sometimes we don't have generator, and why don't you talk to the central church? The central church is trying, but you know, we still need this. If that liaison coordinator will get tithes or money from that region to himself or to his church, local church in Lagos here, that man is stealing. You see, we have to be people that have conscience. We have to be people that know that this belongs to this region. And let me tell those who have been transferred from one place to the other, all the things that the church had in that region before, vehicle, tape recorder, cassettes, books, all the things that were bought with church money, utensils, fridge, whatever, and chairs, everything belongs to that region. If you are transferred out of that region, you cannot take the chairs. You cannot take the property belonging to that church. You will leave everything there. All you can take will be your sandals and slippers. And the things that belong to you personally, that you will take. Everything like car, like even driver. The driver there is for the church there. It's not for, the person that is being transferred. So that as he's transferred, car is transferred with him. Driver is transferred with him. Chairs are transferred with him. All the things, the cooking things, they are transferred with him. So that the person that is coming to take over from him, there's nothing to cook with in the kitchen. There's no chair to sit on. Everything is completely empty in that house. We can't do that if we have conscience. We can't do that if we're children of God. That means then that when you leave a particular location, you leave everything that had been there with that location. In your new location, if there's any problem, you let the headquarters know, and the headquarters will see what to do. We'll be stealing if we secretly divert church funds to personal accounts in any way, with any method. And then there will be judgment.
I hope you have been blessed by this edition of Pastor Kumuyi's illustrations. Please don't let this illustration die. Pass it on to others, and you could be of help to someone somewhere. Till we meet next week again for another edition of Pastor Kumuyi's illustrations. Remain blessed.